Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to take a look at flying private and different, more affordable ways to do just that. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, a few Christmases ago, my son Dallas made me a vision board, and I still have it in my man cave upstairs in my home. And it has a Rolls-Royce, that's my dream car. It has our name on the side of this building, and it has a private corporate jet. Haven't accomplished any of those things, but when I do, I'm coming to this man right here, David Henry. He is the president and CEO of Status Jet.
I'll make a deal. If you buy the jet from us, I'll throw the Rolls-Royce.
You got a deal. All right, David, let's start at the beginning. How did this begin for you? What year did you start Status Jet?
You know, it was 2014, and I've always loved aviation. I wanted to be a pilot. I'm not a pilot. I just always been fascinated. When DFW Airport opened in 1972, my uncle came down from Kansas City. He was big in aviation, and I saw the Concorde land, and I just really I was enamored by this business, and I spent most of my life in the radio business and then started a social media company, but I just thought there'd be an opportunity to do this, and I love meeting, the CEOs and people that own and, run the companies. So that's really the vision to start the company.
Yeah, and you guys, to be clear, you help people buy, sell, and charter jets. You don't do fractional.
Correct. There's three ways to, have a plane. You can own it outright. You can buy a fraction of it, and you can just, when you need it, just on-demand charter. Just, call us up, or a company like us. You can either, do block time like hours. We like to talk about kind of a debit program where you put money on account. That gives the flexibility for us to shop every time. So if you lock in a set rate, that rate's going to be X, and there's comfort in that. But a lot of times, we always recommend, let us beat the market. Let us shop the market for you.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it might be a little higher than that rate, but sometimes it might be less than that rate. So you kind of benefit, and that's our job, is to watch the market.
Sure. We had David on the show about 2 years ago. I think it was the height of the pandemic, and you were benefiting from. You're one of the industries that was benefiting from that because nobody wanted to fly commercial. But you're telling me that even as the pandemic kind of is in our rear view mirror, your customers remain strong.
It has, Jeff. The market, like we talked about a couple of years ago, and thanks for having me back.
Yeah, you bet.
We saw a lot of people that just didn't want to be on commercial, that, just, for whatever reason, safe or cleanliness. It pushed a big group of people into this space, both in buying airplanes and in the charter of the aircraft. So now that the pandemic is kind of over, we really haven't seen a drop off at all. I mean, those people they're not going to go back to flying commercial now that they've had a taste of the convenience and how easy it is to fly private.
So we've got a video from David's Facebook page of one of his beautiful jets. So you have everything from the really large jets. You said, 250 passengers?
Yeah, we did, we can get Boeing, Airbus. We do a lot of group charter. So if you're a football team or a basketball team, or we've done corporate retreats where companies want to take 30 people out to the Masters golf tournament.
Wow.
We can fit any size.
And then the smallest.
I can get you a balloon if you want one.
I also saw helicopters on the website.
We do a lot of helicopters for colleges.
Really?
College coaches will We'll fly them in the LA area here in Dallas, down in Florida, but they love to come in to high school football games and kind of buzz around, land on the soccer field. They go see the kids up there. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And in Houston, you see some of the drill rigs and things.
Wow. Well, I can imagine if you're a CEO and you're trying to make an impression on a prospective client or a current client, flying private is really the way to go, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's easy. You pull up, you hop on the plane, you go. There's catering on the plane if you want it. You land, your car is there, the shuttles or VIP stuff, and you're gone. So
yeah,
it's easy, especially if you fly celebrities and you're in for a banquet or something. And we did this recently for SMU had a big thing, but celebrities, they want to get home with their kids.
Right.
Even if you're there's a misconception people fly private. Oh, it's just a rich person's thing. It's a convenience thing.
Absolutely. We've got some more pictures off of your Facebook, and as we're going through this, I think just like the attention to detail, how clean and sophisticated everything is. You guys are really about the presentation, aren't you?
Absolutely. That's how we vet. We want to make sure, because we want the customer experience to be excellent every time. The last thing you want to do is put a client in a plane that's dirty or isn't up to standard.
Absolutely.
Because these things aren't cheap. It's like a nice car. You expect to go into a Rolls-Royce dealership,
Sure,
and not see trash on the floor, right?
And I can imagine if you had a bunch of guys and you're going out to a game or something like that, if you split it, it becomes very affordable.
It can be affordable. So let's say I'll use Texas as an example.
Yeah.
If you lived in Dallas or Houston, and let's say you were a Texas Tech fan, and Lubbock's a 5.5-hour drive from Dallas, is probably 7.5 from Houston. You can fly up same day with 8 guys, fly back after the game. And if you think about it, you're not buying airline tickets, which are all going up. You're not buying, like you get in those college towns like where A&M, even Texas Tech. You have a 2-night minimum and the rooms are like $600.
Right.
It's jacked. So when you start thinking about it, there's ways to do this.
You're right. And my wife just flew to Lubbock, and I think she ended up paying something like $400 to Lubbock, which
that's a deal.
You remember when Southwest used to do that thing for like
$75 peanut fares.
Exactly.
Those are gone.
All right. I loved telling stories of times when you saved the day. So what's your favorite story of a time when you saved the day for a client?
There's been a couple, but the one I remember the most, and I forget the name of the hurricane, but it was in Florida. It was in Boca Raton, and we were involved with this group down there with Tiger 21, and they called us. The director called us and said, "Man, we've got this client. They're stuck, and they got to get out." So we scrambled, and they already shut down the airports, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. So there was and they were starting to shut down the private airports. So we were able to fly. I think it was a Falcon 50. Got it in. It was the last flight to land and the last one to take off. We got he and his family out. And it just felt good to do that.
Yeah.
Because it was a mess down there that time.
It has to. Well, so we've got about a minute left. Final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
Well, I think the biggest question I get a lot is, if you're buying a jet, how do I finance it? How do I do that? If you have chartered a little bit, you're going, what's the best long-term solution? Give us a call. Call me directly. I'm happy to talk to anyone. And we might not be the right fit, but we're real good about, hey, we can do this, we can't do this, but we've got a team that's 24/7.
Wow.
Try us. Call us at 4 a.m.
Well, and David has a great reputation for integrity, and so I can personally vouch for him. And again, as soon as I hit that Mega Millions,
You get the free Rolls-Royce.
that's it. All right, that's it for now. We're going to end up with his website, which is statusjet.com. Thanks so much for coming on the show,
Thank you,
David.
Jeff, for having me.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.